Hey everyone, this is Dom Delmont of North Star Ball, and this is our first take on our podcast chat thing that we are starting up over this quarantine time. Set 10 releases, and we figure this is our best jump-in point into content creation. Um, Already some technical difficulties. Pre-recorded, re-recorded twice now, going through set 10. With some hiccups, but only this time I have to redo the beginning. So on my own, um, going through set 10, just the first card and a half, and then later on in the video there'll be Dane Reich and Devon Ludden, great local players in the community, and then hopefully later on, like next week's reveal, we'll have more locals coming in talking about cards. Just getting the Midwest out there a bit more Minnesota out there. We got Super Saiyan Rose, Goku Black, Unison of Extermination. This is the Unison card that everyone gets. I believe you get one of when you go and buy your Unison expansion set. So one thing I really like about it is that it's a blocker, and I think blocker on Unison is neat because they get the key markers and they count as a basically life. So if this card gets when it gets attacked, there's no combo phase or combo step, but it doesn't just straight up leave the unison area. It just loses one of his key markers. It has a way to gain a marker by if your leader untaps it, but there's only one card so far that used to do this, and that was the Broly yellow Broly leader, BR Broly leader. Other than that, it draws a card, and then you discard a card. Already better than Coco and Fledgling Talent Pan that did kind of similar where they discard then draw. And then his -2 ability is choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with a cost of 4 or less and put it to the bottom deck, which is probably one of Blue's new identities that you'll see coming up in a lot more of the cards in the set. To catch up with the main stretch of the video, Fuse Zamasu here is the first leader we talked about. Tax draws a card. The main thing that we talked about on the front side is that it awakens at when you are at 4 or less, or you have 4 energy, which is a cool way to actually be able to awaken, not relying on your opponent to hit you or self-awakening if your opponent's playing really slow. So we'll jump in to the real video now and see how the rest of the set goes. So
Is it odd that I'm going to hold my Metal Zamasu leader during this? Like,
no,
just look at it the whole time?
that's fine.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
So Awaken
Okay.
side, Fuse Monster Divine Rune Bringer. When this card attacks, draws 1 card. Neat. Activate main. Once per turn, place 1 of your energy into your to its owner's drop. Choose 1. This card gains dual attack for the turn. Or choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards, place at the bottom of the owner's deck. So we see that again. Like I said, it's going to be throughout the whole set of blue. But the dual attack is very nice because the auto, when this card attacks, draw 1 card, is not once per turn.
That's a draw 2 leader, baby. As long as you have Zeno on board.
Yep.
Or, I guess you don't have to have Zeno on board. You just really, really should have Zeno on board.
Yep.
Yeah.
Zeno. Yep. We'll get to that with the Unison cards, but like all these have all been revealed, they all been talked about, so we'll just assume at this
People
point
have
you've
an
seen
idea.
it. But
People are at least
Like,
familiar with the cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We definitely don't need to read every card. Just kind of go over the important ones.
Yeah.
So this card will also bring. I feel like this card could also bring back more main decking of the Beerus that negates skills.
Which
Because
one?
in mid battle, it's the green one. You combo for 2.
Divine.
Godstrike.
Godstrike. That's
yeah.
it.
Take away a
'Cause,
keyword skill.
Yeah, because then you can swing with Zamasu, draw a card, combo with Beerus to remove barrier, and then bin an energy to shoot to bottom deck a card that had barrier.
Sure. But I think
It's definitely important to be aware of, I would say.
Yeah. It's just I don't know if Beerus is not quite as splashable as it used to be. There's so many strong options in the game. Spending 2 energy to just remove the keyword skill and then also a resource to get rid of something is just a lot of commitment. But
With
it's
all
definitely
the
something you can think about.
with all the ramp, I could see it maybe a
Yeah.
bit more.
Mhm.
If you do like a ramp focus Zamasu to build.
You know, if you play Zeno and plan for destruction and don't plan on having any hand,
Yeah, that's one option.
it's one option.
Or just ramping in general.
Then we have Cool Leader,
Cool leader.
Mr. Trunks.
Trunks. So permanent during your opponent's turn. If you would add a card from your life to your hand, or place it in your drop area, you may reveal it, add to your hand. So this card is our first way to get through crit. So this leader is basically immune to crit.
Imagine.
But it does give
world.
your opponent. It does give your opponent full information of what you're taking from your life, though.
Not necessarily. If it goes to your hand, you don't have to reveal it.
No, you have to reveal it.
For crit.
Well,
For
I'm
against
saying yeah,
crit,
yeah, against crit, yeah. But
Yeah.
if you want, but also because the other cards of this engine, you're more than likely going to want to reveal each life you take, unless you put it there.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to that in a second here too.
But generic blue leader is strong. Imagine a world where someone super 17s you, and then you grab all 4 cards of those to your life to your hand, and then you just show them.
That'd be pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
yep.
a fast sideboard card, or into the sideboard card with super 17 off of that.
Right. He's immune to burn too, isn't he? Yep. So auto when this card attacks, draw a card. Neat. Awaken when your life or your opponent's life is at 4 or less. You may draw 1 card.
Again,
Switch one of your opponent's
offensive,
energy.
defensive.
Yep. If your opponent's like hyper self awakening, like SS2, Gohan, Goku.
Mm-hmm. See, I was thinking about it the other way around, where a leader that doesn't swing at you at all, like Piccolo, might go down to 4 life himself using sacrifice, Gohan taking hits, but he wouldn't dare hit you until he's ready. And then all of a sudden, look at that, now you can awaken just because they're at 4. Making sure that you're on power curve or just gaining more advantage by having a bigger turn.
For sure.
Really big.
Awaken side, permanent, same thing. Auto, same thing. This card attacks, draw a card. He does get an awesome activate main though for 2
So
blue.
good.
Choose one of your opponent's battle cards, place it at the bottom of its owner's deck. At the end of the turn, switch up to 1 of your mono blue energy to active mode. So I really like Bandai's helping push monocolor decks now because of the whole last Unison block.
Mm-hmm.
Not Unison block, Infinite Unity
Infinite
block.
Unity.
Infinite Unity.
That Unity Unison keyword.
Yeah. I think Trunks, like we said earlier, Trunks and Zamasu have kind of taken over the throne now as generic blue leaders, along with like Krillin, and they kind of take over Hirudegan's spot because both of them have great removal effects. Zamasu could draw more, and then Trunks is honestly just. It's a very solid card. There's nothing that really wows me about Trunks. In certain metas where crit and hand control are more heavy, having the first permanent is going to be great. But the second activate main is just good, not broken, very good.
Yeah.
For 1 energy removal, especially in blue, if you can restand that 1, like if you plan to tap out, restanding just 1 energy in blue means you have access to Whis, Coercion, and Dimension Magic. So
I do like it's you untap your energy on your turn, which makes the Cunning and Borgos like cards
better.
Basically playable again now, because blue went like as soon as those cards came out, Bandai was like already printing cards that untap energy on your opponent's turn.
Mm-hmm.
So defense, like that just made the defense control decks pretty strong. Just having no way to counter the untap on your opponent's turn on your own turn.
Especially since during the same block they introduced so many different combat tricks that you could do during your opponent's turn.
Exactly.
There wasn't stuff to do on your opponent's turn before. Now there is. So, then we can get into that Supreme Kai of Time that just kind of goes with Trunks and makes his
Yep.
entire engine work. Just really quickly, it's a 2-cost blue Unison, so it's searchable off of stuff. It activates a lot of effects. Active main, if your leader's a blue Trunks. Future, you can add a card from your life to your hand and throw a life into your energy, and then you choose one of your blue active mode, right?
No.
Yeah, at the end of your turn, switch up to one of your mono blue energy to active mode.
No,
Um,
you mix the two. You just take a life at the end of your turn, switch on your blue energy active.
Got it. The card quality text is not very great on this, but I mean that's solid. Just self-awakening on your own choice, and then throws up an energy for defense. And then the other active main that has jank builders, very excited. Active main +1, add a card to your life to your hand, throw down a different life. Chilai Lemo, we talked about this in our live stream, so anyone watching that's double viewing is going to be familiar, but I think it's solid, but it will still not see tournament play because even though that is a really strong strategy, the rest of the Chilai Lemo leader isn't good enough to warrant playing it. Likewise, green leaders are easily the worst leader color to have. Even if it's not the worst color in the game right now, being a green leader is not good. There's a reason,
but that's about it.
Yeah, because
actually
the awakening is super slow on Chilai Lemo.
Paragus, you're going up from 4.
Yep.
So
it's really not something to necessarily be thinking about all the time. I wouldn't rule it out entirely, but someone's going to bring it to an untapped tournament, go 2-2, and be really happy. So we're happy for them.
Yep. So if you're running the Trunks deck as intended, you'd run Kai. Next Unison, our first super rare card, first super rare Unison card, Super Saiyan Gotenks Absolute Unison.
Absolute Unit is what the people are nicknaming it.
Right. He does a lot, but he has 4 Pacific Blue, so you have to tap out for 4. If
I
you
want to
play
hear
this in
Devon's
4.
thoughts.
Dual
My
attack
thoughts
blocker.
on this card?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me go through all the things and then we can because he has quite a bit of text, but then I think once we read it all at once, like dual attack blocker.
Cool.
So that's great because Unison cards as a blocker, like I said earlier, I think is great. Dual attack, so he actually gets a swing. -2, draw 2 cards. And -3 markers, you can choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier. Bottom deck them.
So my general rule of valuing cards like this is, especially at 4 cost plus, you better be impacting the board state in a major way at 4, especially if you want to play it on curve. A card like this, if you're going against aggro, this is not going to shift the game in your favor. I mean, it's at least if you want to utilize a marker ability the same turn. Because being a 20k dual attack swing, cool. You get a free 20k swing and it gets to restand, stay as a blocker, or a second pressure swing if you want. But if you're looking to utilize its marker abilities, it is probably not great to tap out on 4 against something like aggro, where they'll either just delete it. They'll either just delete it right away, and you're just going to be out 4 energy.
I'm in a big agreement. I actually believe that even tapping out against non-aggro is bad. If you tap it against Surge Coup on turn 4, you're just going to let them maximize their turn, which is really dangerous. Because the only reason Surge Coup doesn't just do everything every turn is because the counterplay is just as strong. And so they wouldn't dare just tap all their energy because you're doing the same thing. But if you tap out versus Surge Coup, they'll go, okay, here's 3 Waiter's War Cries and a Cooler. And I drew 3 cards. And I beamed and I awoken and I swung for leader skill, crit, 40k double strike. What do you got?
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden Gotenks is dead anyway because they just swing into it with the double strikers.
Yeah, there's just too much going on in the current game state on turn 4 that Gotenks just doesn't impact the board.
I am in complete agreement. A lot of people call it really, really strong. I don't necessarily agree right now. I don't think it's a bad card, but
at 3, I'd maybe play this if it was 3 instead of 4.
Yeah, Well, because 3 energy removal to just perma remove 2 things. I mean, that's what they literally printed what Barrier of Hope for, and like all the other
Cease to
cards,
exist.
and
Yeah.
those cards all see play.
Yeah.
But for just not for 4.
Not for 4. And if we need more ways, more cards that just add markers to it too, because you're playing it
That would
at
be good.
4, you can only get one or the other effect.
Especially if you use blocker to take a hit or your opponent hits you even once, you cannot do 2 effect. You have to add it manually.
Right.
So.
Everyone's favorite card from the set so far, I think, or at least the flavor of the week so far, because we only seen blue.
And allows a lot of degenerate things.
With the set 2 Goku Black lead, which I'm holding a deck for in my hand right now, all proxied up for the 2 cards that are proxied.
Yep. So real quick, he two Pacific Blue. His +2 basically just reads, if your leader card is mono blue, take top card of your deck, put in your energy. End of the turn, that energy, if it's still in your energy, goes to the drop. So with Goku Black, that's the combo I bet most people are familiar with now. Goku Black, end of his turn, he'll pop that energy that Zeno put in, and you basically ramped +1.
And you help yourself awaken. It's huge value.
Yep.
Depending on the deck, aggro decks are going to eat you alive. I was playtesting, and they have to make it's going to be up to a good player to make the right balance between killing Zeno and hitting your leader. But it's rough. Your hand size drops down very quickly.
If they ignore Zeno, yes. But Zeno does start your turn at 4. Well, end your turn at 4, which is a lot.
Yeah. But
4
aggro
hits
decks are
or
getting
quad strike or something.
are getting to a point where that's not the case. Right? Like Teen Gohan could just feasibly hit Zeno twice in a turn and then you have no response. You can't even like Zamasu it down or anything. But that's besides the point. The second active main is pretty cool. The -5 to shuffle in everything. It's basically the only answer to Tragedy Overground that we have right now. But I just really think that in general, since you +2, if your opponent chooses to ignore it, you always have a threat of a board wipe. In blue, a board wipe plus dropping like Turning the Tides or Kefla is really scary.
Yeah.
So
especially if your opponent just decides to ignore Zeno and you hit turn 3 of ramping and go in and are able to Turning Tide, being able to -5 Zeno and then play Turning the Tide that's winning.
It's really hard to come back from that, especially if you save your leader awaken, because then you draw 2 and then you leader swing, draw 2, and that's a guaranteed 3 damage, which is really strong.
It's good.
Zeno politics is really hard. I just finished the first playtesting where the other player was playing Zeno as well, and swinging into Zeno, proper Zeno management. I think this is the most important one that you have to figure out if you need to be able to kill him or not. All the other Unisons, generally, you're just going to kind of have to leave them there. But Zeno is tricky.
Yeah. Good thing he's a 9. Makes it easier. More things can hit it.
I think in decks that are not based off of that energy control, he's going to be all that great. Spending 2 energy to be 1 energy ahead of the curve, and only if you spend the energy, isn't necessarily that great. So that's just kind of my general thoughts on it. It's a good card.
That's fusion fodder for Patara.
Right. So this is the Trunks deck, basically, which is intended to go with the Trunks leader.
And I strikes again.
Yep. So both this Goku and the Vegeta have the exact same text, exact same skills. Permanent, you play it if you reveal it from Trunks' effect. Basically, if this card's revealed from your life, add it to your energy, and then at the end of your turn, it just end of your turns. So end of your next turn, it is sent to the drop. You do get
to play above curve.
You do, and you do get the draw card if you do play it from your life. So you're not losing out on that card at all.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty good. Is basically these are like the key key cards for the deck. Next we have
with Zeno.
with Zeno also.
Yeah.
No, Kai. With the Kai.
Well, yeah. So
You use
it's the Kai that
Kai.
puts it there, and then Zeno lets you keep them there because Zeno grabs them and puts them right back down. And since they aren't placed with that skill, they're placed with Zeno's skill. They will be permanent ramp.
But you can only have one Unison out at a time. So
No, Zeno super combo. Sorry, I should have
okay.
specified.
Yeah,
I
okay.
was confused.
Yep,
Yeah.
we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Next we have Super Saiyan 2 Trunks for a brighter future.
Card's good.
Reading it, I found out this is one of the cards you can play with against the field card for Zamasu, because he goes down to a 2 cost.
Yes.
Unique, new keyword, but effect that we are used to. It's a permanent effect. You can only have one copy of this card on your battle area, in your battle area. Auto, if your leader's Trunks, he draws a card at the end of your turn. Sweet,
And
but
that's just
that's
every
just
turn.
that's just extra. It's really nice. He comes out as a 2 cost if you have a blue Unison card in play. And activate battle for 2 gains 10k and triple strike. So
Same as the well, it's very similar to the Boo boss monster everyone's been dying to.
It's just having an active battle like this. Historically, Bandai had done active mains where people could get effects like this, but then it was just okay, negate it, and then you just move on with your life. Having this as an active battle is a really interesting. It's just really it's really strong pressure because it's also a mind game. Because you could go in with just 1 blue up, or even 0 now that we have that Zeno. No, because that's only on your opponent's turn. But there are ways, right, that you could just trick your opponent into thinking that, oh, well, no way they're going to be able to, and then you just hit them for 30k triple strike.
Yep.
Really good stats, like stat line, like playing it for 2 as a 20k makes it, on value with vanillas, but then it also draws a card every turn, and has the scary "I'm gonna kill you now" effect. So
Good
I think
card.
this card's great.
Probably be a sweet looking foil.
Oh yeah, it will.
Next card. So Vegito Infinite Radiance. This is the Union Patara that has Deflect and Barrier, 25k. This is what you will be using those Gokus and Vegetas that go in your energy for. Because he has a permanent, if you have 4 more energy, you can choose the battle cards you would fuse with from your energy.
Honestly, even without the permanent effect, it's a great card, even without that.
I would also argue that even without the evolve target, it is a great card.
Yeah, Union
Playing a
Patara for free.
25k barrier deflect that doesn't cost you any cards in hand, especially if you're like pushing for game or you're a deck that doesn't care about what kind of energy you have.
Yeah, it's
just
zero
really
energy. It is 0 energy to play. Doesn't cost anything from hand other than itself. It's just a great card.
You basically can play it on turn 2. If your opponent hits you twice and you got the Vegeta and Gokus in there.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to pull off right away with the Kai being a 2 cost Unison, but he can come out pretty early.
If they hit you, like, so if you charge 1 blue, they hit you, and then you ramp both the Goku and Vegeta, and then you play your 4th energy, you can just pay Goku and Vegeta with Supreme Kai and then fuse away from them with Vegeta.
Yep.
Good card.
Good card. Next,
Bulma.
Bulma. She's another
Most
one of
mediocre
those.
card.
She's another one of those shield triggers or life triggers.
Yeah, she plays herself instead of ramping.
Yeah, and then searches for Goku, Vegeta, or Trunks among the top 5.
I do not think this card will actually see any play. It is kind of something that you will always print with an archetype just because there are going to be players that just need that guidance.
Yeah, tutors are good. Consistency is good.
Yep. This just kind of happens to be a situation where there's so much in the engine already, and then there's so many generically good blue cards. To try to shove 3 or 4 of this in there to maybe get the card that you're looking for is probably not worth it.
Right.
At least with how fast the game is right now. If the games were going to turn 5 or 6 consistently, I could say this card could be main decked even by competitive builds. But because most people are trying to end the game on turn 4, this card's a little slow for that.
Well, so that's the thing, is that the game is at a really like high and low spot, is that either games go until turn 7 plus, or games end turn 3, sometimes pushing into 4. Like,
Yeah.
games don't have a really big in between, which is kind of frustrating. Mid range has kind of been struggling. Mid range basically just lives through the aggro and then just claps back,
Yeah,
rather than being an actual mid range deck.
Yeah, mid-range decks right now, if they want to actually do well, you basically have to build an aggro deck that has true end game options. That's really where mid-range is at, which is not a great spot. But that's another topic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bulma
Card's okay.
probably
But we
gets
can talk
more.
about the best card.
Bulma probably gets more value the more ways you can get her in life, but there's only one. Yeah, best card in the set.
God, this card's so good.
Vegeta, Savior of the Future. Saiyan Kaba, but Vegeta for blue.
The fact that it's a 5K Vegeta is huge.
It's a 1-drop Vegeta is huge.
Yeah, Vegeta is so proud he barely even had any cards less than 3 costs.
And it's just such a big deal. On top of this, Devon, I don't think has heard my talks about the new Vegito leader, but this card, it's a turn 1 play, and Vegito is maybe the single strongest value you can get of any deck for turn 1.
Hold on, let me find Vegito quick here.
We can talk about it when Vegito is up, but basically you'll play this, and then your opponent has to make a choice: kill Vegeta and awaken you, or don't kill Vegeta, and then you just swing again with Vegeta and put out 2 15K double strikes.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
Good card.
Good card.
Good card. Son Goku Warrior Across Time. A lot of text to just say that Goku from before that plays itself in your energy. He can either play him for free from your hand or put him in your energy. I think also from hand. Hand, battle skill from hand. Yep. It's a weird common card that kind of like bridges the gap for a 1 to 2 drop.
Yeah, if your opponent doesn't hit you, you get to play the dude. You get to play your Goku anyway. And if your opponent answers him to prevent that, you get to play it anyway.
Yeah. I think its big point is this is just like Bulma. If someone comes in and they're like, I'm gonna start playing this game, and then they buy 1 booster box of Unison Warrior UW01, they just throw 4 of this in the deck because they like it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's decent.
Then we can talk about the. Yeah, go ahead.
So Vegeta, or do you have more to talk about that card?
No, I was actually just about to segue and say the card that almost was like tying the Vegeta for the best card in the set.
Another
but
Vegeta.
There's that permanent.
Yep. Unique, counterattack, negate the attack, play this card. Sweet. That's alright for 3, but he can make himself cost 1, but only if your leader card is Trunks Future.
If it was Blue Saiyan,
card would be broke.
I wouldn't even say broke, but like, because the fact that it's unique makes it fair as a 15K negate for 1.
Right. Yeah. You only can play 1 unless you combo it, or unless you combo it, or if you're like something like you're playing
removed or its skills are negated.
You're playing Broly BR starter deck, and you already have 2 battle cards. You just negate, and he goes to drop.
Yeah.
And then you can do it again.
Outside of that, though, being
restricted to just 2 leaders, you can keep negating. You just can't play another one. It just goes to the drop.
Yeah. And but being restricted to basically 2 leaders for true value is kind of rough.
Admittedly, still a good card. I think even in that, if you are actually playing the Trunks Future deck, this is probably a 2 of, along with your 4-dimension magics. So
I can see that.
You can save yourself in energy and just fuse over this one too.
Yep. And then obviously it's just a 15K body as opposed to the other one, which forces you to pick up a life to become a threat. This one is just an immediate threat on board, especially as you get later game and you don't want to go from 3 to 2 enter 2 life because that means you're in Champa range.
Yep.
Other card. Next card. Other tutor.
But a good tutor. She grabs
it is
top 5 for a blue Unison card with the cost of 2 or with the specific cost of 2 or 1 blue Trunks Future. So this will grab
3
your
whole
Zeno.
targets
This will grab
now. Gogeta and Supreme Kai.
and Supreme
3
Kai,
whole targets right now.
but 3 good targets.
Yeah, all of them at least have some sort of playability factor.
So
Or
decent.
any Trunks Future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any Trunks Future, that's big.
Blue. So
Blue Trunks Future, yep.
Mm,
Big.
Which is basically all of
Most of them, yeah.
Big for the super rare coming up later.
them. You mean this card that's next that should have been a super rare but wasn't?
Right? Gogeta 8. I mean
This one's
Vegito
Devon.
8. Devon.
This one's Devon.
Go for it.
This is keyword the card version whatever. We have Barrier, Triple Strike, Deflect, 35k body for 4 energy. If you ended the card there, it's already too good. And then we have an effect. If your leader card's Blue Trunks Future, when this card is played or attacks, so you get 2 triggers on turn 1 on the first turn you play. Your opponent chooses 2 cards in the hand and bottom decks them. This is insane. Like, it is huge card advantage. This card is winning you the game, whether they have a negate or not.
This card is scenarially stronger than Gogeta 7. On top of the fact that it costs less and even has 5k more power.
It's so easy to
If
bring
your
out,
opponent's
too.
at 5 cards in hand or like 6 cards in hand, it will do more damage to their hand size than Gogeta will. And it doesn't cost you a life. And it's cheaper to get out. And it's
doesn't
0.5k.
Doesn't have a sparking requirement.
Sparking. Oh.
So great,
There are
great
so
card.
many reasons why this card is just on paper better than Gogeta.
Honestly, Thursday when this was revealed as the rares and we haven't seen super rares yet, I was kind of scared if
Well,
they
so
were going to go more with this.
I will say something that's important here. This card is another reason to play Jiren in the sideboard, the black one from the draft box 5, because it does go to bottom
Yeah.
deck rather than discarded.
Yep.
So Jiren will prevent you from doing that.
Yeah, but Jiren's also just good against Gogeta too. So
Yes. So right, it's going to be hard. I think that with Gogeta 7 strategies that relied on Gogeta 7 fell out of favor, especially over time. And now that Jiren's out, people are basically refusing to play Gogeta 7 as the sole reason to win with the deck. And Trunks Future might have a bit of an issue if they rely too heavily on the strategy.
Is Jiren just counterplay? You cannot remove cards from your hand?
Yeah, for the duration of the turn.
Okay.
You can't return cards from your hand to your deck. So
that's right,
against
that's
Gogeta
right.
7, it basically says play this card, draw 3. And then against Vegito, it's just like, okay, well then they just played a big body that's barrier, triple strike, deflect.
it's still a lot.
Right, and then the next turn, if it sticks, it has barrier and big body. It'll probably stick. It can just do it again. So this I don't think Jiren affects it as it definitely doesn't affect it as much, but they still have to be worried about that turn going off. I guess is what
Definitely.
you're saying, right, Dane?
Yeah. Regardless, it's still a strong card because it's 4 energy for 35k triple strike. Like that, like Devon said, if it was just those keywords, that would still be strong enough on its own. But I actually want to turn and talk about something else that maybe Devon hasn't noticed. I talked about it last night on the live stream. Very notably, it's a 0.5k. And you might think that this is like they just wanted to be more playable. But what I think it is that they're actually going to start basically making no monocolor cards 110ks.
None.
And I think that might be where they're going with this. Because
I suppose there aren't any in this set.
it's the incentive to play monocolors. Because playing 110ks is very hard.
And also,
there are times
Unison cards don't have combo power, so if you're running a Unison deck, you're going to need extra combo power.
And so you see kind of where I'm getting at that, where, and especially since it's such an integral piece to the combo, you're probably going to run 3 or 4 of this in your deck. We've seen a lot of games where like a Surge Ku or Surge Piccolo player will dump their hand both offensively and defensively, and then they'll sit on 5 or 6 more cards in their hand. And they just can't do anything with those. And now this gives Mono a chance to show another reason why to play it, is that Bandai's going to move away entirely from 110 110Ks on monocolor cards.
So you literally can just swing lead, dump your hand, and see if your opponent has more.
Yeah. As opposed to playing this big guessing game of, well, how
What's
many
a 10K,
110Ks?
what's a 5K?
Yeah. I think it's really valuable. I think Bandai, I think it was a great decision. It's scary right now, but I think over time, as we still get more monocolor support and we probably still see that multicolors, even though they were only around for 3 sets as of right now, they will have such a lasting impact on the game, just for the sheer fact that some of them are going to have multicolored leaders, but just having an entirely new access to a different card pool is so strong. Because effectively, unless you're playing green, you're doubling your card pool. Green is a little weaker in general, just like no good cards, so that's kind of the exception. But if you add blue, yellow, or red to your deck, ooh, you add some cards.
Yep, Champa, Trickster. Ooh, good card.
It is a good card. Oh yeah, and then obviously all those counterplays. We can talk about that later when we get to like God slicing. But
yeah, so that's the Vegito deck. Trunks deck is your boss. Super rare is just more generic, so they actually don't go into a deck per se. But
yeah, I really like your theory on this next card, Dom. Is that we'll be getting one of these for every color?
Yeah, this will be one of those cycles.
I think that's very likely.
As active main battle, and I think the effect that'll go to each of the card would be the one that affects the Unison cards. You remove all marker.
Yeah, and then the other one will be color specific.
Yeah, this one does return a card with 3 or less, a battle card of 3 or less. Return it to the owner's hand, draw a card.
Specifically in opponents.
Yeah, I do not think this card is going to be playable unless markers prove to be too valuable. Particularly because the second effect it's whatever, right? Like we have to see how markers progress, but the first effect isn't worth it on a 2-drop battle card or on a 2-drop extra card. If it was 4 or less, that would probably make the difference to make this card playable.
At 3 or less, I can see this as being 2 cost, but not double specified.
Yeah, so I'm worried about these cards' playabilities, but it's just okay.
It's common.
I don't think there's too much to talk about with it right now. We have to kind of wait and see how the meta progresses.
Yeah, and the full cycle.
And the card that we can talk the least about.
Goku, vanilla.
It's another 2-drop 20K vanilla Goku.
Neat.
Also blue.
All right,
this card is literally functionally identical to set 5.
So Son Gohan.
All right, hold on. Let's take a quick vote. We got 3 of us. Which one looks better, Super Saiyan Vanilla Goku or this Goku?
Super Saiyan Vanilla Goku.
I like this Goku. I didn't like the.
Oh, Dom, I wish you had said Super Saiyan because I was so torn. I really like the hand on this one, but I think I'm gonna give it to the other one just because Gogeta's in the background, and Gogeta's sick.
Yeah, and the foiling on the other one is just gorgeous.
All right, vanillas.
Those are still the most expensive vanillas aside from like Grandpa Gohan, or not Grandpa Gohan. Oh my gosh, whatever.
Okay, Dane. So
yeah,
they're
Gohan, super expensive.
Accelerated Slam. Super combo. This is our if your life is 4 or less. Dane, it's all triggered because Bandai decided to change wording on the super combo text.
Combo is now a noun, a present tense verb, and a past tense verb.
Yep, it's great.
In the same game.
I'm going to say this right now, though. This is objectively the worst 0-10K draw combo for blue.
It's a Saiyan, though.
It is a Saiyan, but we also have a... Oh, no, we don't. This is that's right. I remember looking.
No, we have another one. We have it's great.
We do, but those are sparking. This one's a life one.
Both the first life 0-10K.
Saiyan.
Yeah, this is the first blue Saiyan life 0-10K. We have blue life 0-0s that get plus 10K, but
and then we have 2 sparkings. Yeah.
Yeah, all the other ones that are actually 0-10s are sparking for the draw. So I guess this is better in that aspect. But otherwise, I still stand by this is one of the worst 0-10Ks blue has gotten. Because of names, traits, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's Gohan.
I would argue that it's quite good. Saiyan, I mean, in
I
comparison,
know.
blue set 7 was Mai, and then Ginyu, and then what was the set? Wait, no, there weren't super combos because it was multicolor in set 9.
Correct.
So, like, I would argue that this is basically the best one since the Sparking Saiyans, just because being a blue Saiyan means so much right now. It's searchable off of so many cards.
And this
You're
has
not going to play
this
those
has a
cards.
use in the Vegito deck with the Trunks card.
Oh, does it grab Sun Gohan Futures or?
Yeah, I can play it.
They
in
just,
rest mode.
yeah, it can just play it
Okay.
for
But yeah,
off of like the gimmick. But
Oh yeah, I suppose yeah.
Saiyan super combo, neat.
the next super combo is interesting.
It has the Tournament of Power super combo, 5 or less life, but it's a 10k. It does not draw, but it cantrips for 1.
Nah,
But
if you play
then,
this card, honestly, I don't know if you're that great of a player.
yeah, it'll just die.
Um,
It has the effect of when you combo with this card, you add a card from your energy to your hand, and then play a card from your hand and your energy. So it is
It's a restand.
it's being compared to intensifying power Trunks, but defense wise is neat. No card
That's my
hand
power
advantage.
Trunks.
Intensify power Trunks. Oh, I'm sorry. Unyielding Trunks.
Unyielding Trunks.
My bad.
Yeah.
Wrong Trunks staple.
Yeah, I would say that this is
Closer
in a
to
way
Beerus.
better than Unyielding, but I think this is better when you're. I think this is better if you're looking at your energy as a way to protect a card in your hand against like hand control.
Okay, I can see that.
That's how I see this.
But that's not. I think hand control is present, but it's not worth trading your typical super combos, especially multicolor super combos, for this one.
Yeah, especially since this card doesn't actually plus you in hand.
Yeah, I think it'll see like a 2-2 split play in Trunks because it can keep you ramped. Because you could combo with it and then pick up the Goku, like I said earlier, and put it back down, or the Vegeta.
Yep, because as soon as
but
the
I
card
think-
goes in your hand, it's something else, and then you can put the same card back down
And
Yep.
because it wasn't placed with its own skill, it gets to stay.
if
Yep.
you have 5 or less life. But yeah.
Yeah.
And then I don't think this is good with Plan for Destruction. I get the combo. It is very cute. It is still probably not worth playing. It does let you run less copies of Plan for Destruction, which is cute, which is cool. But it's still like a -3 in hand to ramp 1 energy in total. So I don't think it's really worth it. It depends. Depends so much on the situation and how the meta's going. But right now, hand advantage is everything. So
Always has been.
yeah. Well, especially right now, right? Like there have been times where it becomes less important. I think like early set 7 and 8, it was less important.
Yeah, but I think before where the meta has hit now, I would say the last time it was this important, I guess, would be like set 2.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that. So we're seeing that decent. Please don't play this card to cantrip. It's not worth it.
It's interesting.
You're just gonna get. I suppose if you have no other play and you're playing the new Zamasu leader, I guess cantrip off of it, and then kill the energy. But that's if they don't have counterplays, because I cannot wait to play Vegeta the Cruel on someone who plays this card onto their board because they want to draw a card. And then I go, great. Bye.
All right. So on to the Zamasu deck. I guess you could say Zeno was part of that a bit, but we start with Gawasu. Its tutor.
No, this is like the worst tutor because it's so specific.
Yeah, just 1 blue Zamasu.
There are not a lot of playable blue Zamasus,
Isn't there
and the ones that
already
are multi.
Isn't
The
there
ones
already
that
a Gawasu that searches for gods?
Yeah,
Yes,
but that one's only top 3.
top
But it
3.
grabs any god though, so you can grab
Which-
itself. You can grab your super combo. You can grab Goku Black.
There's so many
there's a
more
lot.
options. Yeah, Helis. Like there's so many better options. Especially because they want you to do this to be able to grab the other cards, but the set 7 Zamasu leader is likely to see just as much play, and the set 7 Zamasu leader can grab blue Zamasus, not just yellow ones.
Right. So next, God Slicing Black Kamehameha. Counterplay.
This card is really interesting.
I think so too. I can't tell if it's good or terrible. But
I know, Devin, you probably like it in your Mecha Frieza if you run blue Unison cards. It is not leader specific.
I know, and I've been thinking about that because with this with a card like Zeno, because I'd probably run Zeno and Mecha for setup. And using this with that is really interesting because it's a +2 once I'm awakened for a huge counterplay.
Yeah, because it hits anything costs 4 or less is placed at the bottom of the deck instead of being played. So that card's just gone.
and draws a card.
And draws a card. And then in Mecha, like Devin said, draws another card because you paid a life for it on your awakened
So
side.
I just think it's hard because these kind of counterplays are best on turn 2, but on turn 2 you played the Unison card to be able to have it in play.
And that's again where Mecha comes in. But then it's also attempting to be awakened on turn 2 is rough.
Right. So you like it's asking a lot of this card, and I do really like that they are the permanent specifically. Monocolors are really lacking in counterplays because basically the only ones that are worth playing are Preemptive Strike and Denial. Because You're Wide Open is bad, and yellow has Kefla's Fury. So
What a card.
what a card!
Great in
It's
Mecha, pretty trash in literally anything else.
really just not a great card as of now. Time will tell, but I think the alternate ability to play it for free is really interesting, even if it's not great. It can kind of like fake out your opponent to make them think that they have an option, which is good. Mind games is important.
You're still going -2 in hand to use the permanent though, which is really rough.
-3.
Oh, you draw
it draws 1.
Oh, you draw 1. You're right.
Yeah. All right.
Bad card.
Well, we'll see.
No,
It's
next
a
one.
net
The next
-1. So
I thought
card?
when you said
Oh,
all
yeah.
right, I thought we were moving on. So Goku Black Rose.
Oh yeah,
Lofty
Black Rose.
Aspirations. This card's not good.
It's
No.
super rare Rose Light.
it is so specific to actually be worth playing.
The only thing nice is the permanent. You can evolve from your energy.
I would also argue that maybe because it's basically a 4 energy 30k triple strike.
Pretty good too.
But
yeah, the auto's not going to happen.
No protection, and then the auto's not going to happen if you're trying to play that to like squeeze out the win. The reason why people are excited to play the energy killing Goku Black in the new Goku Black hyper ramp is because keeping your opponent from going from 4 energy down to 1 or from 3 to 0 is so much stronger than going from 5 to 3.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you go from 5 to 3 because especially the point is to keep your opponent's energy controlled. But if they're playing a monocolor deck, it really doesn't matter what colors you hit. And if they're playing a multicolor deck, then they probably have more than 2 multicolors in there, and so it doesn't matter, so they can just start hitting buddy energies again.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, check lands for the regulars.
Yeah.
The non-Minnesotans.
Oh yeah, we are like the only ones I've heard say buddy energy.
Check lands.
Goku Black Future Decimator.
Also not that good.
Yeah. It tries to ramp.
If you really can't afford Zenos.
If you but it's a card. It's a card out of hand. It prevents you from ramping anymore for the rest of the turn, and you can only play Mono Blue Zamasu and Goku Black cards for the rest of the turn.
Yeah.
If this card literally said Goku Black or Zamasu cards, I could see it being played in set 7 Zamasu because then you could use it to ramp and go from like your turn 4 play or your turn 5 play of Divine Providence becomes a turn sooner. But now it's not the case.
No.
You just kind of like minus a card in hand. It will let you play this card and the Zamasu we're about to look at will let you play the 5-drop Zamasu for effectively 0 energy. 0 energy commitment, but it's a lot of cards out of hand, which is just as scary.
I mean, it's basically Union out of hand, which isn't awful.
Yeah. It's a really unique effect, and I can appreciate it for that. But right now, I don't think it's that great. It just can maybe pull a neat trick every once in a while.
Yeah, I'm with you, Dane. I think this Zamasu, the Cosmic Trader right now, it's better.
I would argue it's better. I think
I
so.
didn't believe it at first. I'm going to say that,
Yeah,
and then
I
played
thought it
one
was
game with
bad.
it. And I played one game with it, and I'm like, wait, this card actually enables degenerate things. It's the card itself isn't that scary, but what it allows you to do is kind of ridiculous.
Other decks with a Sensu Bean, you can play your Unison on turn 1. Goku Black leader from set 2, you can play your Unison immediately and be end your first turn at 2 energy. I think one thing that others are really looking over, Kefla from Draft Box 5 is a card that people think about when they think about good rares, but no one's actually gone through and played it. This card allows you to put out a blue body on board for 0 energy, put air quotes, and then lets you reduce the cost of Kefla. So
Yep.
I think there are just various things to it. It's a blue Zamasu that's a 0/5K, so it's fusion fodder. Solid card. Late game, it's not that great, but in the decks where it's good, it is the hard mull for this card.
Yeah.
So
So
the next card is way
good
cooler.
card's good. Fuse Zamasu, Advocate of Evil.
Yeah. So it's an indestructible Union Patara, blue Zamasu, blue Goku Black. That really sucks that it has to be blue ones, but not game changing or anything. Like, it really doesn't make that big of a difference. Basically just means you can't fuse over the free blocker from set 7. And then just the same thing as Vegito, but 1 less energy. If you have 3 or more energy, you can fuse from your energy. Play this card.
You could turn 1 this in the new engine.
Yes,
I'm
you
not
can.
saying you should,
But you
could.
absolutely could. I mean,
Mhm.
even that, a 24 indestructible body on turn 1 for 2 cards out of hand, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, you would play the Zamasu turn 1.
Ramps your card, and then you activate Goku Black out of hand, ramp another card, and then you fuse into this.
Yeah.
And then you fuse. It'll be 3 cards out of hand.
And I forget, did we talk about that ruling with if this would get counterplayed?
We have not yet. Do you want to hit it up right now?
So the new ruling added into the rule book, master rule book, pertaining to union effects that use cards from other areas than what is the union card, like Union Patora says, because Union Patora, the effect is to use battle cards in the battle area. If they are getting played or used from another area, so like the energy, it puts them in play. Then the counter window happens for the union card. So like there's no interaction with the Zamasu or Goku Black card coming into play from our understanding of it.
And then on top of that, do we know if they get their autos then?
Don't know yet. Like, yeah, because they are technically getting put into play.
Because if that's the case, ramping with Zamasu off of this makes this card a lot better. As does fusing off of, say, Countdown for Destruction.
Right, because then, yeah, you get another ramp or
You get another ramp or a draw.
draw.
Or, like, Inviting the Darkness. Ramp yourself permanently. So we'll have to see. I'm going to guess that they will say that they do not get autos. Otherwise, I think there will be a lot of bad intended architects. Because why wouldn't I just charge Goku Black, play Zamasu, like the 1-drop, fuse over it, and then play the Goku Black out of my energy, and then immediately replace itself,
What's
but
the
permanently.
super rare Goku Black say?
The super rare says when you evolve,
All right,
so
so
it's
that
not when you
wouldn't
play.
matter. Never mind.
Yep.
The cards it would matter for would be Replicator for permanent removal.
Mm-hmm.
Because energy removal is effectively, I mean, that's the actual like strongest form of removal. Game state wise, it's not that great because you give them an extra energy. But like, if you're like, I just don't want to ever see that card again, putting it in the energy is the safest place. And then Inviting the Darkness, ramp yourself, Countdown for Destruction to draw a card, the 1-drop Zamasu to draw. I can't really think of too many others because most of them are like when they union or when something else happens, but
Right.
that's besides the point. This is just the stepping stone to the good card, to the really good card.
Right.
Last
So
thing I
just
will
to
say.
finish off that thought with the thing with the counterplay. So if this gets counterplayed, as of right now, how me and Devin talked about this in lengths for a bit before we knew about this card, when the
Yeah.
ruling was implemented into the rulebook, that the cards would just come into play and just be there with no form of interactivity with those cards. Just the fusion card, it would have interactions.
Gotcha. So there wouldn't
Yeah.
be a counter window 2 because
There's
it
no
was never
counter.
played.
Right.
Got it.
They're just placed there. They don't trigger entering play. There's no checkpoint for them. No counter window. Nothing. They're just there.
Yeah.
So we just need to know if the auto triggers yet.
So even with like the normal Patora, like with Kefla Patora, with 2 cards on board, they don't get stacked and then put on top, or like you don't lose those
Got it.
cards if that would have got counterplayed. So
Understood.
that's
Uh,
that's how we understand it. But yeah,
Yeah.
the good Zamasu, the other
Wait.
rare.
I have one last thing to say about the previous one.
Oh yeah,
It's a 24K indestructible. Indestructible has not been as good as it should have been for a long time, and because it's 24K, it is infinitely better because it would be such a Bandai thing to do to make this card 19K, and then it's killable by Vegeta exploiting weakness and coolers.
yep.
But now it's way harder to kill, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Bandai. Now the good one.
The big bad, the divine immortal, indestructible dual attack, evolve for 4, so kind of like the Vegito. But this one has an activate main in battle.
Uh,
You just
It's
put it in
weird.
play.
Infinite anytime removal
Yep,
of the entire board.
yep.
Um,
Get to play Tragedy Overground from your hand, deck, drop, energy. As long as it's not in your life, you can play the field card.
do not play one copy of this card in your deck of Tragedy Overground. Do not play 3 copies of Tragedy Overground. Just play 2.
Make sure you swing with the dual attack first.
Yeah, swing with the dual attack first.
Yep.
Apply pressure, make them give cards out of hand, or put them down in life. Again, 35K indestructible, pretty hard to deal with. Not impossible because right, there's like Topo. There are a few
Zeno.
answers. Yep, Zeno, but effectively impossible to deal with. Zeno actually does not get rid of it. It does not get removed by the battle area by skills. Period.
No, as in 7.
7-drop Zeno. Yeah.
Yeah.
The real Zeno.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one. After
Negate skills, then shuffle.
now, when people say Zeno, I just assume they mean the Unison card. So
Oh no,
Yeah,
yeah,
we're
I'm
finally
talking.
getting a lot more Zeno cards.
I'm
So
sorry, the chains Zeno.
yeah, there you go. The playing god. Tragedy Overground. This card cannot be removed from battle area by skills of your opponent's battle cards. So it can get removed by the Zeno Unison card. So just like canon in the TV series. And can get removed by the OG set 1 Broly.
Broly.
Yep. If it's the only card in your board, absolutely.
Yep. When this card is activated, you send the whole board, just goes ignoring barrier, place them into the energy. Yep. All your opponent's
Rest
battle
mode.
cards go into energy in rest mode. Set 7's Masu is so happy right now.
I'm holding the Metal Leader as we speak, looking at it, and it's just so beautiful. This card was gonna be kind of playable when it was a 9-drop, and now it's playable for 4 energy.
Yep.
Bandai, as I won't say I'm the biggest Zamasu fanboy in the world, but I'm up there. You should have made this card say 5 or more for the second permanent.
Right. The second permanent is any battle card with a cost of 4 or more that is placed in that your opponent's trying to play is just sent right to the energy instead. It doesn't mean hit the board, no put in play effects. It is just I'm gonna play this for 4 or less, 4 or more, and go right to energy in rest mode.
Gets around deflect because it's not a counterplay skill.
That's true.
Basically, if this card hits the board, if your opponent isn't playing Zeno, you win.
Basically.
Uh,
You can get around it
and
if the card does say reduce the cost of this
reduces
card.
cost.
Like
But the only
Trunks,
card that is a real threat at that point is something like Liquor Run,
or
because
that
every other card,
the Trunks in this set, the 4 cost
the Trunks in the set as well.
Yep.
Revive Goku. Like there are so few answers and they're not on highly playable cards. What I will say is that this card makes Joey Palladino has been on this kick of leader is a workhorse. This card makes it even more true. You have to be able to deal damage with your leader. And if you can't, then you're just worse off. And this card is just so strong. I cannot believe Bandai put this many words on it, because every time they thought they should stop putting words on it, they put more words on it. Super good. Will bring set 7 Zamasu. Probably right off the bat, I think it's immediately going to jump to tier 2. Maybe higher. We'll see how things go, just because of how strong Surge leaders are and their ability to switch tempo really quickly. Zamasu still isn't quite there yet, but it really is just an impeccable card. Bandai was being way too nice to Zamasu for that one.
Can we also just talk about how every card required for this engine is a common, except for your 9-drop, which is only a rare?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, you can literally, aside from the secret rare and like Sensu Beam, this entire deck can be made for pennies.
You mean yeah, the set 7 secret rare?
Yeah, and even then, that's not the secret rare you have to play. You can play Black Smoke. You should play that one because it's searchable. But
you could also maybe get away with playing Goku Oob as well.
Yeah, if you're ramping hard enough, but
It's an option.
Okay, we did actually lie.
This is the boss monster of the deck. So.
Yeah. But we did lie to the people earlier. We said Vegeta was the best card of the set. But this next card is actually the best card of the set.
Oh yeah, the Trunks.
Buy 8 of this card.
Super Saiyan Trunks God Sealing Technique. He is
Buy
a 5
8
cost.
of this card.
He should be a 5 cost because his counterplay is busted. You just counterplay. You can discard this card. The battle card being played goes back to the hand. No restrictions at all. Besides,
none.
Does it have deflect or not? If you don't discard it, you're just gonna play a free Trunks. But if you have a blue Unison card with 2 or more markers, it is free. No cost to pay for energy. It's just turn 2, you have Zeno or Kai on board, neat. Gogeta, neat.
It also does not care like what the specified cost of that Unison card is, just as long as it's blue and has at least 2 counters.
Mm-hmm.
Insane.
So Gogeta also works.
Gogeta works.
Or,
Goku
not
Black
Gogeta.
works.
Gotenks.
Gotenks.
Yeah, Gotenks and Goku Black.
The Goku Black purple card.
I think, honestly, if you are running Unisons, this should be at minimum 2 in your deck, maybe 4.
100% agree.
There is effectively not a reason to just spend it every turn.
Yeah, I'd probably jam this at 4.
Like, if you have the opportunity, I know that times are tough with everything going on right now, but if things start to bounce back even a little bit, week 2 and 3, when cards hit their kind of lowest point for the following weeks, buy 8 of this card. Don't buy 4, buy 8.
Yeah.
2 play sets.
The only downside it has is you can't activate counterplays for the rest of the turn, but
that's usually fine. You're time walking.
You're stopping the big threat.
I do want to touch on something because I realized it while you actually said it, because we did talk about it yesterday, that if you do play it on a deflect card, sure, you might not bounce it back, but you could feasibly just play it as a 15k body. Ideally, if your opponent's just playing something like Obuni, you could counter window 1 Trunks, counter window 2. I guess you can't counter window 2 Trunks, but you could counter window 1 something and then counter window 2 Trunks and play a 15k body for free every turn if they're just playing deflect cards.
Yep. So good super rare. The not so good super rare. Final slash.
I thought this card was really good when I thought it said negate attack, but I read it at 5 in the morning.
Nope.
If your card's blue, is mono blue, so you can't even run it in Surge cards. You switch one of your mono blue energy to active, so it's free, and you bounce one of your opponent's cards 15k or less, ignoring barrier, back to their hand.
And if you have a blue Unison,
if it said bottom of deck, it would have been better. But
yeah, it's just not good. 15k is such a restriction.
If you have a blue Unison card, you can play this card without paying its cost. So it's a free untap, which is good.
It just isn't worth countering there. There's basically never a time where I could see this being included in a deck unless someone just pulls it and they don't have anything else to put in there.
Yeah, if it negated the attack, you could almost stop 2 attacks then by bouncing them back a 3 or less.
And that would warrant it. Like, it would be a good card that isn't overpowered still.
Right.
But
Right.
as of now, it's just not
Right
good.
now, the honest best case scenario for this card is you are tapped out and at 1 life, so you can't demagic. That is literally the best case scenario for this card.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's only if like you restand an energy.
Yeah.
Like if the attack isn't negated, so if they can kill you, they're just going to kill you regardless.
Yeah.
Right, but that restanding energy could be enough, but more than likely it's not going to be. So.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it for the main set of set 10. We'll just hit the starter deck real quick. Starter deck is legal June 5th, which is early. Just a quick note, according to Bandai site, as of right now, this recording, the whole deck is revealed, like even ratios of cards, some reprints. A couple set 10 cards are in there. It says on the website that they are legal July 17th when the set is released or pre-released. So those cards are not legal. 60 card deck maximum is legal, and the starter deck cards are legal, but not the few set 10 cards, which is kind of annoying. But anyhow, hopefully we'll have events at that point that it does matter that they are not legal or are legal. But Vegito gets a new leader card. Hey, he attacks, he draws a card. He has a really cool non-awaken ability.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's your opponent's turn, if one of your blue Unison cards would be sent to the drop, or a blue battle card is removed by opponent's skill or KO'd, you may draw 2 cards, flip this card over. And so technically it's awakening without awakening.
This
kind of not really important to note, but kind of a cool interaction. If your opponent has a Chilling Terror Android 17, you still get to draw those cards.
Yeah,
because it's not awakened.
You're not awakening.
Yeah. Remember when that card was like $12 a few months ago? Anyway, this is that interaction I was talking about that Devon was giggling once he realized it. If you play the new Vegeta 1-drop on turn 1, and then you swing and you apply double strike pressure, your opponent has to make a choice. Either kill Vegeta and awaken you immediately on turn 1 or 2, or leave Vegeta there, let you continue to self-awaken, and deal double strike damage to your opponent every turn.
It's great. I think that alone is just like what makes this leader worth it.
Like, that is so strong. And then if they flip you over, they have the same exact thing. They want to kill Vegeta and not let you awaken anymore. Okay, play the second Vegeta. Cool. I draw a card, restand an energy. Like, there's just so much going for this leader. The active main on the backside is not really that great. Active battle, sorry. 2 blue, choose one of your blue Unisons. It gets 10k and triple strike. Not great, because the best card it would be on Gotenks, where it's a 20k base at least. But it's just so expensive after already having played it. So realistically, you'll only want to use it on Gogeta or Supreme Kai.
You could Zeno, but
19.
19k. Woo!
19 versus 25. Let me tell you the world of difference.
Oh yeah.
One regular card versus a super combo and a regular card.
So I think this leader's really fun. It's great. Has some good support with it. We'll get to that. The Goku Super Saiyan Blue 1-drop. He is also a add 1 card to life.
On the leader, if I may.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Its traits are good. It's a Vegito leader, so it has access to the polymorphic fusion card from Anniversary Box.
Yep.
And it is a Blue Saiyan, which are very good qualities to have.
Very good.
Continue.
All right, so Goku, Tenacious Warrior, auto, take 1 card for life. It attacks. It goes from 4k to 15k, so it gains 11. A little weird. It's odd.
I think they want it to be killable by cantrips.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they want it to be vulnerable, so they made it a 4k. And also, I think it was Eggman mentioned that if it was a 5K, it would be pretty feasible for Gogeta 7.
Yep.
Or I guess Union Fusion in
I was
general.
just about to say that too. Yeah, Union Fusion, because there should be more Union Fusion support coming in the yellow cards, I think.
Yes, but I think that's going to be for Gotenks adolescents mostly, but we'll see.
Right. He has another auto when it's KO'd. You get to look up the top 7 cards for 1 blue units card. Cost of 2, add it to your hand. Specific cost of 2. So
Basically,
it's like
again,
the Mai, but it has to
I,
be KO'd.
I basically think that it gives your opponent the option of keep getting hit by this card and let me self awaken, or deal with it and I plus.
Yep.
I think giving that mind game is always good. If your opponent has to make more choices, they're going to be worse off later in the game.
Yep.
Value dot card is next.
Devin, you have anything for this one first, Goku, or you
For
ready
this
for the next
Goku,
one?
I don't know. I'm kind of torn on whether it's a good card or not, just because there are so many ways to remove it from with a skill that don't actually KO it. Which, yeah, that'll trigger your leader, but that won't do anything with him.
Right.
And so you just would have been better off with Vegeta.
Fair point.
Mhm.
Other Vegeta now, Super Saiyan Blue, Heroic Warrior. If your leader is a Blue Saiyan, he gains crit, which already is, I know
Two
Dane, you
drop
mentioned
15 crit.
earlier, that's 2 drop 15 crit, like Yamcha and Piccolo. Like that's already established
That's a
as
standard.
critical, being 15 being 2 energy costs.
But then it dies and more stuff happens.
Yeah, he gets KO, you draw a card, and then, so you don't even just draw one card. If there is a blue unison card with a cost of 2 in your drop, you can add that to your hand as well.
Unfortunately, the Unison cards aren't going to likely be in your drop until later, but it's at least an option.
Right, you can't
If you
combo
decided to
them.
run this in like a burst deck, it's just more resources that you can grab. Uh, it's I think it's just solid, especially in this new Vegito. If you're on the backside, right, you play this 15k body that when it dies, or 15k crit body, excuse me, that when it dies you draw 2. Like
Yeah, draw 2 and restanding
draw
energy.
3 if you can grab the Unison.
Yeah, it's good.
Uh,
I think
just a value card. I don't actually think it'll see all that much play, but when it's good, it will be like the best card on the board.
I think if the Vegito deck had some kind of like big boss monster, I was trying to play around some deck ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Don't this deck can go multicolor, but I was going mono blue first, and the only big boss monster is like UI signed Goku.
And that's hard to build a deck around. It's a lot of setup for that.
Yeah.
So
Next card, Trunks. Um, I think this card's actually good in this deck.
I think
yeah,
it's really good.
being able to shield yourself when you had no business doing so out of nowhere is really powerful. Notably, if you're playing a different deck, in particular, I think set 7 Vegito, if you are a madman who is still trying to make that work, like I am, um, this lets you play out a 2 drop for 1, and sometimes that's kind of your only option. Um, it basically can let you cheat out some Katara pieces um, for free, or for 1, rather.
What's also important to note is this card allows you to play the Super Saiyan 2 Trunks from this set during your opponent's turn.
Ooh.
Which
But
is
it doesn't. It does negate the skills, so it doesn't get you that extra draw.
No, but it does allow you to basically have it set up and protect it.
Yes.
If you're able to do it on like what you think is your opponent's last swing.
That is true.
Oh yeah. And then
As long
turn
as you
2.
also have a blue unison in play.
Yeah.
Which at this point, if you were playing a mono blue leader, aside from set 7 Zamasu, I think it's safe to assume that you do have one in play.
Yeah.
Or Janemba, maybe. But Janemba will probably play Kai just to manage life, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. I definitely the next card, the main reason they get the starter deck, besides the leader, Gogeta Pursuit of Power. I think this is the best generic blue, I think. The ramp is good on
I would
Zeno,
agree with that.
but I think generically, like, this is what you're going to be playing if your leader is a blue Saiyan card. So I guess,
Even
okay,
without
not most
that,
generic, but
I still think the second active main is worth 2 energy. 2 energy for a 15k body that then replaces itself and removes a card, removes a big body, ignoring barrier, is still worth 2 energy. Um,
Yeah.
I would not argue that it is better or worse than Supreme Kai. I would say that it is certainly better than. Um, yeah, it's it's a
It's
good
just
card.
it's just a really strong card in general.
I think the second act or the first activate main is a really big problem. Losing out on a swing is not good, um, especially because it can't target itself. And so all of the cards that you would play early turns in the Vegito shell are cards that generate value off of swinging. Vegeta is a crit. Vegeta Self Awakener is pick up a life and double strike. Goku is a pick up a life, and your Vegito leader swings and draws.
yeah, I think
So
the
I
best targets for that is some kind of like cantrip.
yeah,
You
something
got
that
you
you're
got to
just
draw
playing
off
to get
it,
it out.
and now
Yeah,
you get the
it's
permanent to protect your life. They
what
have to
they
go attack
intend.
a one drop.
Yeah, what they intended was the active main with the permanent, without having to go into combat, because right now combat is kind of scary to go into, especially in later turns.
Oh, 100%.
Um, what are you talking about? It's so safe to swing into a Broly or Zerchki player right now. So safe.
Oh, you're gonna let me play my key cards on your turn? Thanks.
Removing threats and then replacing themselves. Yeah,
Yeah,
very good.
your
Yeah,
cantrip would
so
just die. Can't
being able
protect
to
you.
skip combat and get one of your battle cards in rest mode can be huge. Can be.
Yes, can be. I don't think Vegito will be played that way. I think in general Vegito will be played aggro mid range.
Mm,
Not hyper aggro because blue kind of doesn't really allow that, but it will definitely be a like.
Mono blue
I think
doesn't
it's
allow
gonna be.
that.
I think it's gonna be a grindstone kind of deck. Basically, it's gonna try to grind your face in,
yeah,
and
which I'm totally down for.
you better be prepared for it. Um,
Like
I
I
really
am
think
really excited for this leader and
I think it
the
is super
cards for it.
cool. I agree. Um, if everyone wanted to give a top 3 cards they're excited to play from blue, rather than necessarily just leaders or anything, what do you got? Or bests rather. So, what you're excited to play over best?
Um, Personally, I'm actually really excited to play this leader. Actually, I would say out of all the blue cards that are revealed so far, this leader is definitely my number one most excited to play card, just because of how much it does for little to no investment.
Mhm.
Whereas a card that I am really excited to play with and mess around with is Zeno, but that's more of getting 4 of that super rare is going to be difficult for someone like me. But
Yeah.
whereas this leader, it's a starter lead, and it's just a leader, which means they're going to be available. And I am just very excited to do it. Even without any other support in this set, I am excited to play this leader.
Yep. I personally, if I had to rank it, definitely first is getting Tragedy Overground and the 2
I called
Zamasu
it.
pieces into. Yeah, well, of course you called it. I'm holding the Metal Zamasu leader. I spent an X amount of dollars on this leader that is going to fly way up in price if it becomes playable. Um, it is a good engine now. I think this is the kind of card that it really needed, especially because of ignoring barrier. Uh, it's going to be super fun to mess around with. My second most favorite is mostly just the Masu Cosmic Trader for Goku Black Set 2. I made a deck where you can play Goku Oob on turn 3. Sandy Carter beat me to posting it, but that's okay. I will forgive him regardless because he makes good decks. Card number 3. I think I'm also going to give it to Vegito Leader. I think Vegito plus the Vegeta swing, like the turn 1 Self Awakener swing, literally makes this leader worth going second. +2, and then your opponent makes a very difficult choice going into their second turn.
Agreed.
I think that's super cool.
I think Vegito is in my top 3 as well. Honestly, could Vegito be the new home for Universe 6? potentially.
So you sent that list to us.
Outside of the
I-
cheesy 30k wall that could happen with the blocker,
Mhm.
because you could play the
I'm-
cantrips and
I'm
with
really
the
not
unison.
sure.
Could be something to think about.
Yeah, absolutely.
People can play with that. That I give that idea out there to the masses. I think maybe a blue-yellow deck with Vegito could work because it just says blue card, not blue mono card. Saying right for Gogeta.
Yeah. The only thing that matters is that I think on the backside when you restand an energy, it's got to be a mono blue. Yeah, mono blue energy. In which case, then you just negate with Dimension Magic, tap the blue, and restand 2 blue yellow, or Whisk Coercion or whatever.
Mono blue energy gets restood.
Yes, on the backside.
But
So
a blue battle card is removed from battle area. That could count your
Chompapatos,
or
Kale,
Keflas. Yep.
Keflas. There are a lot of options there.
So maybe there's a chance.
There's a chance.
I think their best option right now is Krillin, anyways.
Yeah.
My second.
I do actually.
I'm sorry. If you finish your thought.
Oh, mine was about a brand new topic. So.
Oh yeah. My top two. That Vegito's up there. My three. I guess I'd say the Vegito, Gogeta 8, Vegito 8.
Same thing.
Just because, yeah, it's a that card. If this was any other set, that would be a super rare. And then the another card I just want to like for fun to play. I like this Super Saiyan 2 Trunks.
Yeah.
Just he comes out for 2 and can triple strike out of nowhere.
I am actually going to change my answer. I'm dropping the Vegito out. I'm sorry. I will ruin our rule of 3 because I scrolled back through the cards and I forgot that the Trunks SR is being printed.
Yeah.
That counterplay is basically a 4 of. Like, just include it.
Yeah, if you're running two Unison cards, you just jam 4 of them.
So I think that's probably my actual third. Vegito is super cool, and I plan to make a deck with him later this week just to start trying stuff. But whew, that was a long one. There's a lot of blue cards. There's a lot of stuff for next week.
Yeah, next week's green. The couch, this COVID couch that we have may change up a bit. Depends on schedules or who we can get. Happy having Devon and Dane and I.
Hell yeah.
I would say that Dom is the guaranteed person.
I'm probably gonna be the guaranteed.
And then I'm the next most likely. So that was a lot of fun. I love blue. Thank you, Bandai.
Yeah, I made sure to get these two because Dane, biggest Zamasu fan in Minnesota. Guaranteed in Minnesota.
I only have 5 mats.
Yep. Devon is also our resident great deck tech and blue.
Just a good mind for the game in general.
Yeah, been playing since set 2, right?
Yeah, I got in a week before set 2 launch.
Right.
And
this guy was on stream, Nats, with Lord Slug.
Oh God, don't talk about that.
Don't watch that one because
it's a bad representation of his skill.
It was a bad matchup.
Hey, but you know, Devon, at least we both got embarrassed on stream. My round 6 at Chicago Regionals to maybe be the first seed of the whole tournament. I came out smiling because I got so trashed.
Oh yeah, Dane lost to Robert Rizzi.
5-0. I was very happy, and then I was humbled.
And then my claim to fame, I ran Red Broly at Nats.
Played against only Shenron. You poor
dude.
Played
against only Shenron, the guaranteed losing matchup, but would wreck U6 and Apes.
I guess my claim to fame for Nats is I am very sure I was the top placing slug player.
Yeah, dude.
You might have been the only slug player.
I know 2 other slug players.
Oh, okay.
They both dropped after round 2.
Then you probably were. But if we're gonna say our claim to fame, Dominic Delmont, cousin of Simon Belmont, Richter Belmont, whoever they said on stream.
I-
Chicago Celebrations, I am the one who played the Arcane Absorption booth 3 times in one game.
I am far more concerned with the fact that you are Father Delmont, leader of the Church of Dominic Delmont.
Cousin of Simon Belmont.
Delmont, yeah, Belmont, it's all the same.
It's
cool.
It's all fun.
This is the North Star pod chat thing. I'm Dane Rick.
Dom
And
Delmont,
I'm-
Father Delmont.
I'm Devon Ludden.
Thanks
Bye.
y'all for listening. Have a good one.